Welcome to PIMS Cup, the podcast for product marketing managers. I'm your host, Madeline Cardos. This episode was recorded in June 2025, and details have changed since then. Today, we're joined by Sharon Liu, Director of Product Marketing at Usher. I'm excited to have Sharon on the show because of her depth of knowledge as a product marketing manager and the high-level perspective she's able to provide for us. Usher is a Series C startup in the customer experience space. They're a platform that's dedicated to automating time-consuming tasks like calling into your doctor's office or cutting the back and forth from an insurance claim. They're cited in Gartner as a top generative AI player in the healthcare space, along with Google, AWS, and IBM. In this episode, Sharon describes how a PMM's role changes the higher up they go in an organization, the key to working with the PMM, and the role PMMs play in bringing in multi-million dollar deals for their companies.
Hi, I'm Sharon. I have a decade of experience in B2B product marketing across various AI and automation companies in Silicon Valley. It's definitely a very exciting profession working with companies at different stages of growth to understand where they are in achieving product market fit and what they need from this type of role. Outside of work, I like to golf and snowboard and find activities to exercise while immersing myself in nature. I currently reside in Northern California and split my time between Roseville in the Sacramento region and then South Bay area like Santa Clara.
What drew you to product marketing management as a career?
I first observed a product marketeer in action when I was interning for this Internet of Things startup during my junior year in college. I was on the engineering side as a QA test intern, and I definitely did not know about the entire gamut of roles that were possible in the corporate sector. When I had a peek into the working world, I saw how the product marketeer at my company was involved in so many interesting conversations across the board. She got to work with everybody. She knew just enough about the product to understand the philosophy behind it, the purpose and what it does without getting caught up in the nitty-gritty technical details. And then on the other side of that job was understanding buyer psychology and marrying the two concepts together. I just thought was the most interesting endeavor you could go on for a company. Ever since, I've been really drawn to the role, and I was lucky enough to be able to start my career out of college in this direction as well.
You've held the role of product marketing manager, senior product marketing manager, and now you're a director of product marketing. What is the difference between those job titles in terms of your responsibilities, your tasks, your day-to-day life? What does that look like?
As you move through the different levels of product marketing, it typically starts with content creation, messaging curation, and delivering a bunch of assets for your teams to use. But the higher up you go, and it really depends on the company, it gets so much more strategic. And then not only are you launching products, but you're leading entire go-to-market operations across the organization. So it really is what you make out of the role and where you want to go with it.
What's next after director of product marketing?
I lean more towards the strategic and business operations side of things, ensuring that everybody's aligned and marching in the same direction. It's much more than just launching a product and hoping it does well out there. It's really about understanding the signals from the market after the fact and ensuring your entire field team is equipped to handle these sales cycles and these conversations, especially if it's for a newer technology like agentic AI, where not everybody is familiar. It takes a lot of education and figuring out for ourselves too. This initiative typically isn't squarely owned by a single individual in the company because it's so cross-functional and responsibility can fall in the cracks sometimes. Product marketing is the most advantageous spot to reach into all areas and ensure that it's a well-oiled machine.
You did mention a term that I want to explore. What is agentic AI?
This is the hottest new thing in the world of AI. So traditional AI was more focused on the model itself, and it could offer predictions, certain outputs based on inputs, and maybe would help you make a next best decision. But ever since the advent of LLMs and generative AI, where it's so much more intelligent than anything we've ever seen, and for its ability to generate new content and actually take action, it's really more so thought of as a digital worker or a very enabled assistant in a way. And the word agentic comes from having agency to think, to act, to reason, and to problem solve itself. There's definitely different levels to agency if you want to break it down even further, but that's the impetus behind this movement of technology.
What does your team look like? If you could describe how many folks are in your team, what roles they play, all of that.
So I'm currently the only product marketeer at my company. I report into the VP of marketing overall and work closely with my brand, creative, and content teams to bring various messaging elements to life. I partner with my head of industries to understand the important changes and regulations affecting our buyer markets and how we factor those into our go-to-market strategies. And then we work with our demand generation and social media marketing teams to run campaigns, put on webinars, and drive engagement. On the product management side of the house, I typically work across 3 to 4 product managers actively to promote the latest innovations in each release.
And tell us more about that. What does that relationship look like between you and another product manager?
It's literally brother and sister organizations. Your collaboration and the efforts of that really make a difference in the strength of this product and the way it's perceived by the market. I would say the most successful PMM relationships is where both sides really lean into each other. There is a lot of dependence on the PMM to extract knowledge from the PM's brain and do those knowledge transfers, understand the why behind every product decision and design so they could market this effectively to the buyer audience. That is the absolutely most rewarding relationship because then you really feel like equal partners and both equally invested in the fate of the outcome. I've also observed just with other dynamics where the product manager and the product marketeer just don't see eye to eye, and then it compounds into further disparities down the road in a way where they collaborate less and less, and it becomes really difficult because the nature of the job is that you have to work closely together and consult with each other on many things.
If you could tell product managers one thing, the key to working with a product marketing manager, what would you tell them?
If you're able to communicate the why behind building this feature in and how that helps the end customer or the end user and the end buyer, that would help us get down to the true advantage of this product in a much easier and efficient way. But at the same time, it's also my job to get that out of them by asking them the right questions too, if it's not obvious up front. It's an underrated skill, definitely.
Can you share a particular example where you felt seen by higher ups at Usher?
When we were trying to figure out how to sell our new agentic AI solution, I was able to follow up with these are the specific market opportunities that you can chase with it. This is how you position it, and this is how it completes the Usher portfolio and fills a gap. And this wasn't super obvious up front, so we hit a lot of pain points in a disparity between we know this technology is so amazing, has so many promises, but it feels like sales isn't grasping the potential of it, and they don't really know how to communicate the value from it. I had my CEO telling me this is a really important thing to get right, and he was supporting me along the way as well. And so when we finally conducted the training and the session and saw salespeople leaning in, you can see it unlocking in their minds in terms of this is how I can make a lot more money with this product. We do have a few deals in active in pipeline as of this point, but when it closes, these can be anywhere from 500K to multi-million dollar deals.
Wow. Okay. You're basically a multimillionaire.
We want Usher to be definitely more and more.
Okay. Last call. What books are you reading right now?
There is one book I'm trying to get through. It's called The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham, the most recommended Bible by the successful investors of today to understand the fundamentals for value investing and how to look at companies and understand if they'll be along for the long run and the upside and potential growth that they have. And I feel like this is my next foray because product marketing sets you up so well to go deeper in this area because you have to look at the market and understand the trends and the dynamics that cause people to buy, and then understanding the supply side as well, what product quality looks like, and also what a successful strategy for a company looks like, and how to marry those together to forecast long-term success. I feel like is a strong correlation to how you'd want to break down a big sector that you're thinking about investing in and then evaluating different players within that.
I've never heard someone tie product marketing and finance together so seamlessly. That was really well said.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us, Sharon. May your PIM's cup runneth over. Visit PMMpodcast.net for more information on Usher. Sharon also mentioned The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham. You'll find links to that as well. This episode was produced by me, Madeline Cardos. If you got value from listening to this episode, support the show by visiting patreon.com/PMMpodcaster. The show's music was made by Holizna CCO. Their work can be found on freemusicarchive.org. Do you have ideas for the show? Questions you want answered or guests you want featured? Go to PMMpodcast.net to tell us what you think. Lastly, a couple of thank yous. The podcasts Song Exploder and No Stupid Questions helped inspire this podcast. Give them a listen if you like what you're hearing. Last but not least, thank you to everyone who listened to the very end of this episode. Catch you next time on PIM's Cup, the podcast for product marketing managers.